I'm Atheena with BehindTheMusicMedia.com, and we're sitting here with one member from Marianas Trench. So, can you introduce yourself and what you play?
My name is Yanis Estromanis, and I'm a finger cymbalist.
Alright, so where did the name Marianas Trench come from?
I was hoping we would do that. Well, a long time ago, I used to do children's birthday parties, and unfortunately, we lost a child. Not in a life and death kind of way, but in like we didn't know where the kid was, and then we found him, and he was trapped under this bouncy castle. And he was trapped under there for a long time, like, you know, under like the ball pits and stuff. And like, I don't need to tell you guys, like, there's a lot of weird fluids in those ball pits, right? So like, this kid was trapped under there, and then, you know, like we got down there, and I wasn't sure if he was breathing with this weird fluid, so I didn't really want to give him mouth to mouth. And you know, then the kid sort of snapped back out of it, and he was just like, "Man, you suck at children's birthday parties." And I was like, "You were right. I should start a band instead." And he was like, "You should call it Third Eye Blind." And I was like, "That's taken." So we ended up calling Marianas Trench.
Alright, so when did you start playing music?
2 years old.
2 years old? What did you start with?
Piano.
Did you like pick it up instantly, or was it like a lot of practice?
I did like everyone in my family's a musician, so it wasn't like a practice so much. It's just like that's sort of how everyone in my family related to each other. You know what I mean? Like they're still all like that. They talk about music and chord theory and stuff all the time. So I kind of like I could hear it and understand, and I understood what the chords were before I knew what they were named. So it was more like, I guess, sitting down and figuring it out before like understanding what it was actually called. So sort of like I understood the theory before I knew it. You know what I mean?
So who are your musical inspirations?
Brian Wilson and Freddie Mercury I respect a lot, both because they both guys in their heyday, even if they didn't like hit it on the head every time, they always went for it. You know what I mean? Like they never half-assed it, those guys. You know, like they really were bold writers, and you know, weren't afraid to experiment and just like put it all out there. And I dig the resolve of that.
Yeah. For someone who has never heard of Marianas Trench, how would you describe your music to anyone else?
It's the tragic combination of finger cymbals and pseudo buzzworthy electro pirate pop.
It's a good description.
Thank you.
When you guys play a show, do you have any pre-show rituals?
We have a chant that we do, but I can't tell you what it is. But we do have a chant. I warm up for sort of all day, but like definitely like sort of the hour leading up to showtime, I wander and just do vocal warm-ups the whole time. We have like an a cappella thing that we all sing together to make sure everybody's warmed up, and then we have our chant thing that we do. And I think the guys drink some Jack, but I don't drink, so I don't.
What's your favorite part about performing live?
My favorite part about performing live is the spontaneity of it. You know, you can have everything perfectly planned out in a studio and meticulously recorded and under the microscope and all that, and that's Matt. But live, you know, you're trying to recreate that stuff, but at the same time, like there's this sort of fun spontaneity of the whole thing where like you don't necessarily know what's going to happen, and the best moments in the show are always the unplanned ones. You know, like when you make a mistake and you turn that into a great moment, or you feel like your voice is shot, and somehow you find this extra little part that's still there that you wouldn't have even been able to do normally. So all of a sudden you're using this weird part of your voice. Like I always like the X Factor stuff, or like, you know, when you don't really know what's going to happen, when you jump out and crowd surf and keep singing and you have no idea if they're going to drop you or not. You know what I mean?
Have you ever been dropped?
Not yet.
Let's hope tonight's not that night. If it is, we'll get on camera for you.
Please. The shitty thing about that is if it does happen, if someone falls crowd surfing, it's head first every time.
Oh no. So if you do fall, it's like the worst injury.
Yeah, like take it from someone who's watched a lot of crowd surfing firsthand, and you're there playing and someone's up there and you can tell if it's not a good crowd to do it on, and it always just like someone like for a second they're like king of the world, and then it's just feet. And like a sort of crowd of disappointed people like looking down being like, ooh.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
So on this tour, what song has had the best fan response so far?
Oh, I don't really know.
All right.
It's pretty good across the board.
Yeah, it seems pretty. It's been really supportive all over the place. I wouldn't say that. I don't know.
All right. If you could put together your dream tour, who would be on it?
If it's dead, I'd have to say Michael Jackson, Queen, Led Zeppelin. That'd be a good tour. And we'd just be like hidden somewhere in the middle. I'll be opener.
Woodstock bill. Who cares?
Who cares,
You were
man?
there.
You were there. Yeah, exactly. My mom got to play shows like that. It's crazy. She was in Leonard Cohen's band, and she got to like play these shows with like Bob Dylan and Jimi Hendrix and stuff.
What cities or countries are you guys dying to play? Just anywhere you haven't.
We just got back from Korea. That was cool. Sorry, I should talk with my mouth full. We're about to go to Australia and the Philippines, and I'm excited for both of those. We've never been to either place, and I think that's going to be awesome. And I think we're going in September.
I'll show you. You're gonna get some good accents down there.
Yeah, but you know what? Like the Australians have taken over the ski town that's right outside of where I live, so I'm pretty used to that. We used to call it Whistler, but it's now pronounced Whistler.
That's actually really cool. I've always loved Australian accents, so.
You love Whistler.
What has been your favorite tour or show that you've played in your career so far?
Oh man, really?
Yeah.
I can't really pick one. Can't pick one. There's a bunch of well, no, there's been some shitty ones, but no, like you can't pick one great show because what's great about one show isn't what's great about another show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't.
Different aspects.
Yeah, it's like if you talk to the Octo mom and you're like, so be honest, which one's your favorite kid? Come on, you got a favorite. You know, like she's not gonna. You know what I mean? She might have a top 4 or something. But like there's been a couple of there was one show we did in outside of Toronto for a radio thing, and it was for like I don't know 35,000 people, and that was a crazy experience. But at the same time, the other day we played a show in Niagara Falls on the state side, and it was not a big show. It was like 2,000 people, but it was one of those like awesome, just like everyone crammed into each other, sweaty, just club show. And we hadn't done club shows in a long time, and that was really sweet too.
All right. Well, how were you guys able to come up with a 12-track, 54-minute album?
Oh, I had that idea forever. I had that idea in high school. I was like, it'd be cool if there was like if there was it'd be cool to do like a new version of that idea. Like people used to do it, like Pink Floyd did it. Bands in the '70s kind of like tried that idea, but I don't really think a band in like our lifetime had done that. And I was like, it'd be kind of cool to hear a pop rock record where it was just one song, really. Like ostensibly it was just one song, and like every song led to the next.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really ready to do it on the first record. Like I wasn't really experienced enough writer to do it. Second record, I kind of played with the idea of reoccurring themes, and that sort of got my feet wet a little bit. And then the third record, I was like, fuck it, let's just do it, man. Like, any of the stuff that's like the best stuff that I feel that I've done has been stuff that was always like 10% out of my reach, and I just was like, and I just say that I'm gonna do it because that'll force me to have to try. You know what I mean? So that's the best way I can motivate myself. So what I did is when I wasn't sure if I could do it or not, I went and did a bunch of interviews, and I was like, yep, the new record is only one song, and it all leads into each other, and I hadn't done it yet. and I would just set it because that would force me to do it.
I mean, it's a good concept, so.
Thanks. Well, I mean, I'm not the first guy to do it or anything.
Yeah.
It was an ambitious idea.
Well, what was the writing process like? Was it hard to do that? Or?
Yeah, because you're not just writing standalone songs. You're also sequencing them. You know what I mean? Like, so you're not just being like, here's 12 songs I wrote. You're going like, here's a song that I wrote. Now the next song, could that lead to this other song? So what would the order be? And you have to like think about it that way. It's kind of like writing a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, and the last day was shitty because the last day it was like we had to deliver the record by like 9 in the morning, and I hadn't finished all of the little transitional thing. So it was a long day. It was a long day.
So if you can pick like one song from that album that you're most proud of.
Probably the opener or the closer. Like the opener, like the title track, Ever After, I'm proud of. I think it was cool. It was fun to record too because we recorded it with like a 30-piece string section, and we'd never done that before, and that was fun. You know, I got to write I wrote all these string charts, and then went in and was like, working with all these string players and stuff. I got to feel like it was fun to, I don't know. I don't really like writing charts as much, but it was still fun to like write the charts and then see it all happen and like direct it all and watch it happen. It was a fun day.
How do you think your music has changed from Masterpiece Theater to Ever After?
Second album to third album. I don't know. I think it's just evolved. Like I think what happened on the newer record is I was sort of like, the songs that are going to be artsy songs, I'm going to let them be really artsy songs, and the songs that are pop songs, I'm going to let them be really pop songs. And I feel like it's just, I think it's a little more diverse than Masterpiece Theater was, but also a little more focused.
So
the rest of the band. That's it. That's my.
The rest of them, or not the rest of them, but
most of them. Ian's not here, but who needs that guy? He looks like Gene Wilder and Willy Wonka.
What would you say your biggest accomplishment as a band would be so far?
3 albums.
I would say, God, you guys can
Sorry,
not
that's
keep
the last
out of
of
the
us.
front of the fucking camera.
Oh, I need my sunglasses.
Are you serious? Our biggest accomplishment to me is having reached the point that we've reached. I feel like I'm still adjusting to people even buying our stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. It's weird. It's weird to like have now had like a whole chapter of my life where like that's been my job, and I haven't had a day job, and I've just been getting to be in arts all the time. You know what I mean? It's like all my favorite classes in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For a living, and I haven't really adjusted to that. And I just feel super lucky and really grateful that I have the opportunity to do that. And I'm really stoked that more and more people seem to enjoy what we do, and that's just it's a really fortunate situation, and I'm really grateful for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. You guys played the main stage at Bamboozle this past May.
Yeah.
So how was that experience?
That was fun. It was like, it was right on the beach in Jersey. That was pretty sweet. It was a very hot day. Nobody got dressing rooms because Bon Jovi took them all.
I don't know.
But it was a good day. It was fun. We weren't there for very long because we had to catch another flight back into Vancouver, I think. So we were actually like, unfortunately we didn't get to see any of the other bands, because I was stoked to be playing a festival with a lot of bands that I love, right? Like I was really stoked to go see I really wanted to go see the Foo Fighters. That was like one of the first concerts I ever saw as a kid, and I was like, oh my god, I'm playing a show like with them.
Yeah.
Amazing. Because Foo Fighters I think was like one of the first, like as a kid, like one of the first shows I ever saw, and I was like, oh my god, one day I'm gonna do that. And that was pretty cool that I got to play on the same stage as those guys. Unfortunately, I didn't see their show because we were in and out.
Oh no.
Oh no, they played the night before. The Foos played the night before. But we weren't there yet. So we got there like that morning, played, and we were like back in the airport like 2 hours later. So it was really in and out. But it was really fun, and it was a cool experience to get to have, and I'm glad we did it. It was cool.
Good. You also recently won 2 MMVAs. So how does that feel?
Good. Cool. Cool. I mean, you know, you can't really base you can't base your own opinion on yourself based on awards shows and stuff. That's a little silly, but I was stoked that we won something. I thought Pop Video of the Year was a cool thing to win, and that was cool, and that was a neat thing to see. And then also, like, you know, some songs that I had co-written and produced with other people. There was another 2 that won like another 4 awards that I had a hand in. Not that it was all me or anything, certainly not, but like I was involved, and I was like, wow, that's cool, man. Like I've somehow been involved in a lot of these songs that people like, and that was fun. That was cool. So,
out of all your music videos, what music video has been the most fun to make?
The most fun to make? I'd say I have 3, probably, that were fun, but they were also the hardest to make, I would say. And then I have ones that were not fun as well. Decided to Break It was not fun because I broke my ribs at the beginning of the video shoot, and it was a 2-day shoot, and it was all physical comedy stuff, and I had broken ribs, and I was like just ripped on painkillers the whole time because it was the only way we could get me through it. That was not fun. On our first album, we did a video called Shake Tramp that was fun, but just brutally exhausting. It was like 20 hours straight of just as ridiculous as I could go and high energy as I could go for 20 hours. And then I was moving the next day.
Oh, no.
And the next day I was like, me and my friend were like trying to carry a couch, and he was in the video too, and like we couldn't even carry it. Second record, Celebrity Status, was a fun video just because it was like 3 days of us just parodying everything we ever wanted to make fun of. And the reason the whole beginning idea of that video was I was like, I want to shoot the opening credits to a shitty sitcom. Like that's what I want to do, a video that's just like lame opening credit, like Full House style opening credits. You know what I mean? I just want that. And then me and a couple of friends had shot a parody of 90210's opening credits just for whatever. And then I was like, let's take that and make that into part of the music video. So we redid what we had done, but with the band instead. And then, you know, did a bunch more stuff. And then on our new record, there's a video that hasn't come out yet, that's just about to come out, called Desperate Measures, and that's my fave that we've done for quite a while. It's a good video. It's like really ridiculous. Let's all just walking in front of the camera. But it's a fun video. I got to fly around on wires. I danced around in my underwear. We dressed up as figure skaters in like the skin tight
like
things.
Like a leotard.
Yeah, I wore a leotard and did a ribbon routine in the new video. So yeah,
that's good.
It's pretty ridiculous.
So where do you guys come up with like the storylines of your music videos? Do you guys all come up with it together, or is it?
It's totally depends. Sometimes there have been some videos where it's been the 4 of us coming up with it. There have been some videos when it's been me coming up with it by myself. There's been some videos when it's been the director coming up with it by himself. More often than not, it's usually a combination of all of those things. It's usually like, you know, it might be like the next video we're shooting was an idea that I had, but, you know, the video we just did was like a really combined effort. It started with, hey, let's do a video where we get a bunch of, this is funny actually, the Desperate Measures video started with me being like, hey, let's do a video where we get a bunch of fans to imitate the band. And like, we'll kind of be in the background, but like fans can just like imitate me and imitate Ian and whatever. That was the original idea, and it morphed into something that's completely unrelated. But we kind of needed that one little idea to morph to, you know, to inspire what happened. But that was the original idea, and it was originally like that in like a karaoke setting or something, and we didn't use any of it.
All right, so what are your plans as a band for the rest of 2012?
It's gonna be a big year. I can't say, I don't think they've officially announced it yet, but we did just sign our first major US label record deal. So that's going to change a lot of stuff. So I think we're going to be a lot more worldwide touring. And I don't really know what to expect, but it's going to be a busy year, and it's going to be cool.
So our website is called Behind the Music Media. So what do the words behind the music mean to you?
What goes into it?
Can you elaborate?
To me, that would mean I picture being in the studio for hours working on guitar sounds and snare sounds and wondering if this snare sounds better than that snare, and should we tune it up? Should we tune it up by a semitone? Will that blend with the key of the song better? And like, you know, should we have this much gain on the bass or this much? I think of all the little think of all of the little intricacies.
All right, well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for sitting down with us.
No problem.